Hey everybody, I'm Ian Lowe and Jeff Karomi of Lform Design. I am the head of business development here at Lform, and we specialize in helping business-to-business manufacturers and distributors. And Jeff, why don't you add to my intro?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Jeff Karomi, the art director here at Lform Design. For the past 15 years, I've worked with B2B clients in SEO, user experience, and interface design.
Great, thanks, Jeff. So today we have Zygo. Let's jump right into it. 3-second rule. What do these guys do?
Well, luckily, I'm glad you asked that because they provide something pretty clear. It's a little on the small side, but your worldwide supplier of optical meteorology instruments, high precision optical components, and complex electro-optical system design and manufacturing services. So yeah, pretty clear, a little small, maybe a little less noticeable, but right up top, right where you want it.
I agree. I pretty much know right away that they're dealing with lasers, or, they have this background image. It's pretty spelled out. The text here does a really good job of explaining. So you have a good idea from the onset within 3 seconds, kind of sort of what they do. So that being said, let's think about who are they trying to sell to? Who's their audience here? So let's go further down the page. And what do we got going on here? Well, they have a slideshow. And Jeff, why don't you talk about slideshows?
Yeah, so slideshows are difficult. We try to avoid them whenever we can. On top of the fact that very few people sit around to actually look at a slideshow, they do have a few problems. First is what we call ad blindness or motion blindness. So we are so trained on the internet as users that whenever we see any kind of motion, anything moving, you immediately are trained to ignore it. That's because of banner ads throughout the years. It's the thing that no one wants to read and doesn't really help anybody. On top of that, when you're talking about an element like a slideshow here, knowing that no one really uses them or sits through them, you're also adding weight to your website, and that's going to slow down the time it takes for the website to load up for a user. And that's an issue because the longer that you wait for that website to load, especially let's say mobile, that's a pretty big concern. The less likely they're going to stick around and less likely they're going to engage with the rest of your homepage.
Right. So, I mean, it's pretty apparent their audience are probably engineers of some type, right? They're looking to utilize their product lines for, or maybe they're someone's purchasing their items from another company. But I agree, they going back to the slideshow, they're featuring products, and I don't even have enough time to really dive into the product. Okay, so they have a webinar. Great. I want to, register for that. But then all of a sudden I have the next slide popping up, work for us. Okay, careers. So ultimately, I think they have a couple, or it looks like they have 4 different items here. I would have separated them and show, people are used to scrolling. So if I scroll down further on the page, highlight all those items, these 4 distinct areas. You could have stacked them on top of each other, the webinar, 2 products that they're highlighting, the careers page here. So yeah, definitely, overall, I think they're doing a good job with their copywriting. Zygo's most advanced and robust non-contact service profiler. That's great. The verifier MST is the only commercial I couldn't even get to that. See how quickly it goes? That's why slideshows just don't work. They're kind of actually kind of frustrating. So let's go down further on the page. It's actually kind of a short homepage. I'm not used to seeing homepages this compact. How about, what's new at Zygo? Okay, so they have like kind of news, overall news. Again, I'm only seeing one visual. Some people prefer to see visuals paired with headlines. I'm surprised, like how optical coatings impact high-powered UV lasers. I'm surprised they don't have even some type of stock image or illustration paired with these headlines. Upcoming events, Obviously, they're fairly involved internationally, Shanghai, China, San Diego, Taipei, Chicago again, Frankfurt. So that's impressive. You know, I get the idea that they're an international company, even though they're based in Connecticut. Um, so I think overall, the content on the page is strong. Just the overall layout is weak. So do you want to add to that maybe?
Yeah, I mean, there's some things I'm liking that they're doing, and there's some things that I think they could definitely improve on. Let's start up top. Let's just break this down piece by piece. So let's talk about the header. This is pretty good. There's a lot of items in it, but it looks like, and if you can go in and start clicking on some of the navigation, let's see if they have any drop downs. Okay, so they have drop downs, and so they have quite a bit of information here. This is good. It allows people to, kind of get to where they're going. Most users are going to use your navigation as soon as they hit your website. They're not going to engage with any content on your homepage. They're immediately going to start trying to look for stuff that interests them within that. So, while this text, especially down here, could be a little bigger, a little easier to hit with a mouse, all in all, it gives a lot of options. So that's a plus. If you mouse off the navigation,
yeah, so that's not good.
It's a little rollover navigation. We try to do on click. It's a little annoying when you're trying to get in and out. But if you get out of that, the other thing they're doing pretty nicely is, so they do have a static hero with a learn more button. Where that goes, I'm not sure. That could have a little more of a descriptor of what they're trying to, that button specifically could have a little more of a descriptor, but they're also providing text directionals here. So this is good because you're giving users ample places to try to find something so that they can, not have to wait through the slideshow to find a specific item. Once it gets further down the page, this is where, we can kind of see, I don't want to sit here ragging on slideshows for an entire video, though I could. All of these items could be broken out into what we call directionals. So if I just draw 4 little boxes here, this would give people ample time to read what's in there, click on the button, watch the video, join the team, anything that's like a priority for your company.
All right.
And that would give people, a little more time. It would also allow you to put other content up in this big area. So who your company is, your values, benefits that your company brings to different industries, who your clients are, a logo graveyard or a logo listing area for things like that. So yeah, the top gives a lot of room for movement, but once you get down here, unless you want to wait a few times and try to nail one of these buttons that are popping up, there's not a lot that they're telling you to do. There's particularly, I don't see a call to action anywhere. So I'm coming to your website, I'm looking at your products. What do you want me to do?
Oh, they want you to watch. They want to watch the video register now. Again, it's hard to, I understand the intention is here, but it's again, search jobs. So they do have calls to action, but they're really, I think they're kind of not hidden, but difficult to, especially because it's a slideshow, difficult to interact with. So. The other thing is, we always say this with all our reviews, rollovers are a no-no because of touch screens, touch devices like the Microsoft Surface. You really want to have someone click on the main navigational item, and then they can select from a drop-down menu. As you can see, I just clicked on applications. It's taking me to the applications page. So this is kind of old tech in terms of websites on how this is done. I will say this, man, this site is loading really slowly.
Yeah, so, I was noticing that sometimes it's hard to tell from the other side of a Zoom meeting, but it does look like it's loading pretty slowly.
No, it definitely is. The other confusion I have here is who's Amtech versus Zygo. Like, why? Let's click on that. What does that do? Is that the parent company? I'm not quite sure. it's just kind of thrown in there. So I'm assuming it's the parent company, but again, why just kind of shove it in there? You know, at least you could say, you know, have a tagline, so to speak, or a little bit of text explaining what MTech is. These are great. You know, they're putting in their overall product categories right there, so I can start my journey. Yeah, I'm interested in, you know, nano position sensors, right? Or optical components. Yeah, that's what I care about. I'm putting something together. Let me see what they have available. Let me click on it. Man, this site is loading so slowly. It's definitely not my internet connection because I'm pulling, I think, 400 megabytes per second. So
Yeah, I was curious about that, so I've run it through Page Speed Insights, and it is loading very slow.
yeah.
So that would be kind of a low hanging fruit. I mean, you want your websites to load fast beyond the fact that it annoys users and they go, this website feels broken and buggy. I'm going to go to a competitor and look at their website. This is, you know, an SEO issue. Google ranks pages higher that provide a better, faster user experience for users.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a multiplier effect, and it's something that it could be the website, it could be the hosting that the website's on. There's a lot of different issues that could be slowing down a website.
You know what they do? This is old left-hand navigation where you can jump in. You know, that's actually kind of smart. I rarely see this now because it's viewed as valuable in real estate, but I'm not opposed to showing, you know, once I'm in optical components, I want to see what else they do. Oh yeah, I'm interested in lightweighted optics. Okay, great. The other thing that they're doing well, which is smart, is they're obviously cross-linking, which is a great SEO technique. So look, if I click on innovative polishing methods, let's see where it goes. And then I want to come back to this page and just point out a couple good things that they're doing here. Okay, so they're taking you to a generic services page. I don't know if that's so good. I mean, again, if I was going to be typing on, clicking on the innovative polishing methods, I'd want that to go specifically to text, you know, talking about innovative polishing methods, not a generic page. But again, from an SEO standpoint, to do cross-linking within pages is really smart. So they're doing that well. I love that they have a YouTube video embedded here. So if I want to learn more from a video standpoint, that's smart. I'm wondering if the video now it's an overall look at Zygo. I don't know if I would have put that on the optical components page, but definitely on the About Us page or on the homepage. Yeah, the other couple other things, they're doing breadcrumbs. That's great for Google. We love breadcrumbs. The header image, it's great. Fills the whole browser screen. It really gives you a good idea of precision. And look, they're wearing clean suits here. So that's impressive stuff. And some of the precision optical components. All right, so this is another way. You know, I can get to mirrors here, or I can get to mirrors down here. So again, multiple roads to Rome. That's really smart. I like that. So there's some old techniques. I don't know. I guess I've been doing it since I started making websites, which is 2000. Where, you know, breadcrumbs still really important for SEO. Cross-linking still really important for SEO. Multiple ways to get to the same area, just great UX, user behavior, you know, just that's what people want. So I know I threw a lot there. Jeff, do you want to weigh in on this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, outside of the speed issues of the pages loading, really, let's look at it. We have a pretty nice structure here. So if I, you know, highlight a couple items, like you said, things are nice and clear. There's a good grid structure going on here. You know, you kind of have this UX pattern where everyone, okay, you have your sidebar menu. Okay, I can kind of do a little cross navigation there. I don't have to interact with the menu. All the content's on one side. And like you said, if I go back to if you go back to the optical components, overall the website's very nice and clean. We have large text. You know, directionals seem easy to click on. from what I'm reading, both on my screen and yours, Ian, the copywriting seems pretty good. It looks pretty, it's clear. It's not too jargony or anything like that. So that's a big plus.
I actually kind of like this, our heritage of homegrown innovation, homegrown. I mean, I like when people throw in non-technical kind of layman terms for stuff like that, Anyway.
Yeah, there's always a place and a time to get really technical. If someone's drilling down into spec sheets and things like that, then they're probably someone who is looking for technical information. But that's something that, the further into your website you can get. So these kind of more face level pages, they do pretty well. And like I said, it's a nice, clean, simple website. They're using Color Smart on this for rollover text and things like that. Though I think these links could probably be read. They're a little hard to tell what is a link in a paragraph and what isn't. But those are all kind of minor details. Overall, from what I'm seeing here, it's nice, it's clean, it's easily navigable. And those are all big pluses in this website's corner.
Let's go into another section. Let's go into lightweighted optics and see what's going on here. Man, yeah, they just need to move their hosting to a virtual private server or just a different host, because this is slow. All right, more information. Contact Zygo today. There you go. Sure. All right, so they don't tech bait. I went into a bad section. Obviously, they need to bolster lightweighted optics, which is becoming huge now because of satellites. The less weight you have being shoved into space, the better. All right, let's look at I can't pronounce. Can you help me? I can't talk today, Jeff.
Spherical elements.
Thank you. Spherical elements. All right, so let's see. Key features, nice. 700 millimeter diameter brochure is great. If I want to download a brochure, I can. How does that work? Wait, there it goes. Oh, it's gated. If I want to download a brochure, I have to fill out a form. What do you think about gating brochures?
Brochures, so when you say the word brochures, generally what you're talking about is a sales sheet, a catalog. And when you gate that, you're effectively saying, no, don't look at our products. You can't look at our products. Like, are you really trying to sell your products if you don't allow brochures? Now, there are good ways of gating documents, things that are heavier, white papers. I saw that they have possibly technical papers. Those would probably be interested in gating in any kind of marketing documents. So things like that, you would probably want to gate. A brochure, I'm not too sure on that one. Generally, brochures or any kind of documentation like that, you want to keep it free for a user, also free for Google, as well as I'm trying to think of case studies. You could gate, you might not. You got to think, what if you go I always like to think about it in broad terms. If you were to go to any website that sells, let's say, pants, and you said, I want to see your pants, and they go, no, fill out this form first, you're probably not going to do it. The weight of the benefit of getting that brochure is not in line with filling out, especially the amount of information I see on that specific form.
Yeah, let's look again to see how much information. Well, I don't understand why this site isn't caching well. Every time I click on something, it's reloading the entire page, which is odd. What I'm saying is that the initial load, because we had never gone to the site before, especially using this browser, I'm using Safari. When I go back to the same page, it should load up much quicker because my browser has cached or stored that data. I'm not seeing that with these request forms, which is, I'm wondering why they're not allowed, why it's not loading up faster with pages I've already viewed. Anyhow, you're exactly right. I have to fill out a lot of information in order to download a brochure. I actually, going back to this other page, I saw that there was a video. So I would rather a webinar, an informative webinar, they should maybe gate the webinars, because those are long. Let's see how long this webinar is. Yeah, it's 25 minutes. So, I think that's an easy ask. Hey, 25 minute, and maybe even list how many minutes the webinar is before I click on it. I would gladly fill that out, that information out. I probably put my real information in there, not some spam email address that I might give to other websites. So I'm not seeing any tech papers for spherical elements. Another thing is, I wouldn't even list the option to click on tech papers if you don't have any, meaning make sure the web designer, whoever coded this website, if content is not available, don't show that tab. Don't show tech papers tab. If you don't have any videos, don't show the videos tab.
Right.
This is kind of like, tech papers, nothing for me to click on. So it's just a bad user experience, right? But you want to add to that, maybe?
Yeah, and I mean, so if you just got onto this page and you go, okay, this is the amount of content that you have. Let's say I don't even notice these areas. You've effectively blocked your users from finding, and if we just use this specific page as an example,
I'm sorry, I clicked on, I apologize, Jeff. I clicked on another page. It's not loading, so it will remain on this page until it loads.
Yeah, but you're effectively, this page did have videos and more information. So, okay, so there's the more information, but you want to put this page, this information, all the stuff that's in here in line on the page. Hiding it behind these tabs it makes the page a little shorter, but people might not even notice these and might not ever click on them. And especially considering brochures is the gated area, that's what you would want people to click on, right? To give you their contact information.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of, that's why we don't like hiding stuff from users, whether it's in a slideshow, an accordion, a tab, unless there's a really good user experience reason to hide that stuff. You want this all on the page so someone could come here and scroll. Like, look at how much information. If you hadn't clicked on that, you would have missed all of this stuff down here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think, you want to kind of reapproach this page. Overall, it's doing well. But I do want to hit on, if you go to the brochures, I do want to kind of talk about forms a little bit, Ian.
Okay, so let's click on the gated form.
So the first thing when we look at a form, we have to consider a couple baseline rules. Number one, the more fields you have, the less people are going to fill it out. That is just kind of how things shake out. So when you do have a form like this, you want to go, okay, it's a medium-sized form, I would say. But then you have to think, okay, what stuff do I have to provide? That's 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you have to do the I'm not a robot, right? So now out of 8 fields, well, out of 9 fields, including this checkbox down here, you have to fill out almost 90% of them. For a brochure. Now, like you said, if this was a big webinar, 25 minutes, a lot of really good information, you may fill this out, but you really need to cut down, exactly what you need. Do you need a last name? Sometimes you don't, if person doesn't have a last name, are you not going to, sell them anything? And then if we look at this country, this is good for sales stuff, your selective interest, your country, but company organization, I think that one might be one you don't want to have someone fill out or require. Really you have to balance it by your sales. What you need to make a good sale at the end of the day. Right.
Agreed.
And then you have to look for the type of information. Let's say if this was signing up for a newsletter, no one's going to sign up this amount of stuff just to get a newsletter. they may just put in their first name and email address. So the reward you get for filling out the form has to be proportionate to the information that you're willing to provide.
Right. And some people, I could see the sales staff here at Zygo saying, well, I don't want to be getting bum leads or, leads that essentially lead to nowhere. The fact of the matter is that's part of being a salesperson. So essentially, from a marketing standpoint, like you mentioned, less fields, thus equals, generally speaking, more inquiries. And it's really up to the sales staff to have a quick conversation to see if it's going to go anywhere, to see if they're a good fit. So this might sound bad, but at the end of the day, it's really up to the salesperson to have the initial contact, to feel them out and to see if they're a good fit. So that has nothing to do with marketing. Anyway, okay, let's keep on going. Let's take a look at an actual, let's go to, let's go to the software. We're looking at some of the hardware. Not actually at a specific product page. Maybe let's dive deep into it. Wow, why is it? There it goes. All right, great. So let's see here. Interesting. So they have a couple examples. I'm not exactly sure what someone who's looking for an optical profiler is looking for. Are they looking for more spec sheets? Are they looking for more information? It looks like they have a few paragraphs here explaining why the MX is good. I'm not seeing, I'm not seeing brochures, or I'm seeing any webinars or videos correlated with this. Let's try looking at a laser here. See what it says. Wow. Keep on talking about the load speed, but it's rare that we come across a big company like Zygo, and okay. So the images are loading up very slowly because of the page speed, the overall website hosting. All right, let's go into verify. I like that they name their products to have a little bit of a marketing kind of slant. All right, this is nice. They're actually showing the product. They're showing the images that it's producing. Here we go. Oh, wow. And then they really have a lot more information here. I'm sure this is extremely valuable. Oh, they have spec sheets also, application notes, manuals, tech papers, none again, videos. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's see what happens if I click on like application notes. So I have to fill out that form again. And I betcha. Yep, there you go. Wow. I wonder if this is actually turning off potential clients. My bet would be yes. I'd almost bet that they're probably, if they're really that interested, they probably end up just picking up the phone. So, but again, a lot of engineers don't like picking up the phone. So I'm curious what their bounce rates are on their product pages. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, I think you kind of hit on it there. I mean, it seems like anytime I want to see even further information, you kind of hit a wall. And at so many times, you're only gonna hit your head against that wall a few times before you're like, okay, well, maybe not. Let me keep doing research.
Yeah.
So, I just think it's it's a little you want to give a little more freedom to your users, and again, just be a little smarter about what stuff you want to gate and what stuff you don't want to gate. That way they can go, okay, I want to go just see general information. For instance, let's say spec sheets are actually a really interesting one, because a lot of times spec sheets may be needed by someone who already has the products, right? They're going to get spec sheets. Are those gated, Ian?
They
go
are.
down to the specific. Okay, so the specification. So then you're saying, oh, you already are our customer. Give us your information. So again, it's just about being smart where you gate and what you don't.
I have a gut feeling that this site is not custom coded. It's probably using a template, and that's the functionality built into the template, meaning all documents are all gated. So any type of PDF files maybe is gated. Again, I wouldn't know until I look at the source code, but wow. The other problem is, let me see if I can, wow. So I stopped the load. And then since I stopped the load, I'm unable to access the drop-down menu. So that in itself can be extremely frustrating. Yeah, I could see someone just being really turned off. I mean, I think the overall layout is good. Drop-down menus, I wouldn't use rollovers. I would just do on clicks like you mentioned before. Obviously, holy cow. Let me do a complete refresh here.
Yeah, and this is actually a great illustration of this load speed. At that point, no one's gonna realize, oh, it's the load speed doing it. Most people are just gonna be like, oh, their website's just broken. So, it feels broken. I mean, I've been trying to navigate through it on my side as well. And I've actually I recently went to a page about 20 seconds ago, and it doesn't seem like the website wants to load at all. So I'm just kind of stuck on the homepage. So yeah, it is a big issue, and all these little tiny things, compound to basically tell your user, just go to another website or just go to Google and find the information. You're wasting time here, and that especially in B2B, in almost every type of investigation we do into user personas, is people do not have the time for this. Right. They want to find their research, they want to find what they need so that they can get back to their job, right? And get through the day and go home and do stuff that they enjoy. Exactly. So, this is just stopped. It seems the website.
Wow. On your computer, can you do me a favor and just try navigating a random website and see if it's coming up just fine? See if it's not. I'm almost 100% positive. Yep. It's yeah. All right.
Yeah. I just went to the Lform website and it loaded it within half a second. So
yeah. So there's definitely something going on. So I'm going to have to unfortunately stop our review because we can't continue to click through this site. But overall, I think the site has strong content. I think there could be some improvements in terms of navigation. I think they're doing some smart SEO, on-site SEO enhancements here that they're implemented, I should say. I would, the web hosting is really, I view that as a separate component of the website. Someone created the website and then it has to live and breathe someplace. They have to rent, space on the server. So I think the overall site is a solid B. I think the hosting is just an F. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with you here.
Okay.
Hosting, if the website literally broke on us, we can't use the website anymore. Whether that's hosting, whether that's how the website was built and structured, whether it's a problem with the CMS system, it doesn't really matter from the user's perspective, right? Website doesn't work. I can't use it anymore. Like you said, there's good content on here. It's well written. There's good imagery. It has a nice clean look. When you can use the navigation, it works pretty well. But unfortunately, the website broke. So I'm going to have to give this one a D, honestly. The website doesn't function any longer, and it's really hard to overlook that point. But if it worked, if the hosting worked, and it was, or the website load speed was working perfectly, and it was loading, within that half a second, and you were getting from page to page, I'd probably agree with you. This would be a B plus website.
Okay, cool. All right. So why don't you take us out, Jeff?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, thanks for everybody for watching. Remember to subscribe to our channel for more website reviews. We haven't done one in a couple weeks because we have been extremely busy. But we try to get to these. We try to get to these every week. So if you don't see one weekly, then you know that we have our heads to the grindstone here, getting things done. So if you got any good information out of this video, please give us a like. Go down to the comments. Let us know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? It helps us reach more people and help inform. We like to inform people because we think it's important that people should be smart web users. So thanks very much, and take care, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.